He's been trying and trying to get used to this new spring on this thing. This spring is a little looser. Well, it's way looser. It's very difficult. When we get the other one replaced, I'll have it the other put back to the original. This thing's swinging slower, but when he's hitting it, it's going roundabout and it's doing a lot of different stuff that the other spring didn't do. But I have a feeling once he starts mastering this and getting more comfortable, it'll probably take him about another week. This is going to be a better setup for him to use here. It sits higher off the ground too, and his opponents are going to be, he'll actually be hitting higher than this because Joe's approaching 5'10" right now and 200 pounds. So he's a little over or a little under 200 right now. And pushing 5'10", probably 5'9 3/4 roundaboutly. I hadn't measured him in a while. Maybe he is 5'10" now. But everybody's going to be fighting at the weight he is going to be a lot taller. So, but still, even with misses on this, you're doing really good with this left because you'd be able to pop somebody, then smack them. And even if the smack out ain't, well, it'll cause confusion and chaos, and it will hurt because everything you throw hurts, son. But it's points building. And you show a little pencil-necked geek speed demon, you show him you got speed too. He's got a lot of speed to him. He just likes to fight in close, and I try to get him to come off a little bit sometimes, but a little inside English joke, like Brett May can't put a fight together to do a fight. We can't get sparring partners, but in our case, we're really, really trying to get the sparring partners, not putting on a show. And it's the other guys pulling Brett Mays on us and not showing up or intentionally getting somebody else that don't show up. That's kind of an inside UK joke. If you ain't from the UK, you won't get it. From the dark corner, as they call it. And people try to say, oh, these things are no good, or, it's just another new thing. No. For those of you that watch us a lot, you know that back when I was a kid in the boxing gym, one of these made almost a lot like this one, solid steel, was over collecting dust in the corner of the gym because it was old school when I was a kid. So they've had these things for a long time. Then Ryan Garcia came about and they started getting real popular again. All right, guys, Joe's going to do 200 each of what he's going to do. He only did 2 more sets on what we did yesterday. I think we stopped it at 2. He did 2 more. A little under the weather yesterday and a little bit today. And but we're showing you we don't stop working. You might get lucky, and at the end of this video, I'll show you guys how slow I am. I was sitting here, I had the gloves on, I'm going after Joe just to, not trying to take his head, well, I was trying to hit him, but getting him to move or block my punches, and I thought, I'm laying some punches on him kind of fast. I'm so damn slow. I cut the light off and can't find my way to the bed. So that's how that works. Forget where the bed's at by the time I get the light off and get myself to the bed. Forget where the bed was. So anyway, what you going to start off with, Joe? All right. So I'm kind of going to try to find a happy medium here. Probably about right in there. Probably see Joe's head pop up or something. Trying to get in. If you see that door behind him, that's a 10-foot door, not an 8-foot behind him. Excuse me, I stand corrected, an 8-foot door. It's an 8-foot door. So it's a big door behind him. A lot of places have it. This is the size. The door here, the height of the door there is the size of what the ceiling may be in your house. So a lot of places have 8-foot ceilings. I believe they still do. I don't know. I'm so damn old, ain't no telling what all it is. First few sets here, I'll up and down this thing. Or you know what I could actually do, Joe? You come up like this. I can push it down and pull it up. So whenever you're ready. What you gonna do? Sit-ups, push-ups, and squats? All right. So it's gonna be a small day here, but you're welcome to see it with us. I think I am gonna shut this door. We're in Columbia, so everything's metal and concrete. The good old US of A, you can have glass windows and stuff. You don't have to have bars where I come from. You had about 25 to 30 minutes on the reflex bag. And I'm just going to keep it down low, Joe. And then if you guys notice, he's not going all the way down so far on these squats. And the reason why is we really don't need to. There's way different variations you can do this on. I don't want him to go all the way down and all the way back up. Puts a lot of stress on the knees and the joints therein and tendons and such. And he just needs to go down but so far. But Joe goes down. Joe does a lot of squatting. It's just fight styles to do a lot of squatting down and coming up. And it's what we do. Garbage trucks out there. The little one or the big one? Well, I'll go ahead and do the garbage. Y'all get to see me take the garbage out, guys. We are at the house today. They're still down there?
They went up.
Have they already went
No,
up?
but not by this.
Oh, they're way over there. I thought they were out here. You got to be careful and listen. You can't even put your garbage out here, folks, so people come rip the bags apart and throw the trash all over the place. That's clean Indian living right there. Garbage everywhere you look, everywhere they are. And it's not everywhere, but out of every 100 people, there's 10 of them that do crazy littering and crazy stuff. And it's crazy, isn't it, Joe?
Well.
A lot of crazy. And the 10 can make the other 90 look bad. And really, it's probably about a 60-40 or 70-30 split. And there are people that's just literally filthy, and it's not because of poverty. In the U.S. or the U.K., bad things you see a lot of times are poverty born or poverty driven. Here, it's not. It's a cultural thing. But you got a lot of people that look to the UK, Western Europe, North America, and they try to emulate the way we live, and they're a lot cleaner and are developing better ways. Of course, you look in a lot of places in North America and Western Europe, and it looks like a crap hole like it does here, because it's just letting everybody from the bad places into our countries, and we're not elevating those people. They are pulling us down. And in reality, it's not a right wing or a left wing issue. I see in Western Europe, people are apologizing and they're going, we're not right wing. We're not right wing extremists. No, it's not right or left. It's just having some damn common sense that you don't like that or want it, I bring up that comes through on a lot of these videos, and I need to try to get out of that. And if we weren't constantly living around it, I don't think I'd be talking about it so much as I do. I was going to make a separate video on some things, but while Joe's sitting here working, I think I'm going to go back there and get a couple of bullet points that I jotted down and talk about those things. And so hang on here, because we'll have, I'm going to talk about when getting into professional boxing. I won't say fighting, because I don't know if other types of promotions in other combat sport are this way. And really, I'm going to be talking to you from an old school perspective. So some of the things I may say don't apply today, but I'm sure they do. And I'll have to be proven wrong when we get back to the U.S., because I know what's going on in the amateur game in the U.S., and I know that the professional promotions are not doing a good job at all in the U.S. And I can't speak for what they're doing in the UK or other parts of the world. I'll go back there in a minute and get my bullet points. Rocky will be back in here and be getting all around us, and Rocky's our German Shepherd. He's in all of our home videos. And keep in mind, folks, this is the easiest stuff we do. This is when we're at home, it's easy. Joe get on these kicks and maybe he does 1,000 or 1,500 push-ups or body weight squats or sit-ups or whatever. They're on videos on our YouTube channel here. But more often than not, when we're at home, it's the easy stuff. So I was going to have the slam ball and throw it to Joe while he's doing the sit-ups, but I've hurt my wrist. Rocky, don't you molest?
It's so slow. Much to Rabbit's surprise.
Went in the back there, if you heard. All right, so one thing I'm going to talk about, if you're getting into that never, ever seems to be publicly discussed in boxing, is ring size. Now, if you're in an octagon, you're in an octagon. I don't know about the sizes of these things or what's going on. But if you get on a boxing venue, maybe you prefer a smaller ring. Maybe you prefer a larger ring. Now, I can give you variations in ring sizes. There's 21-foot rings, 24-foot rings. There is 17-foot rings. And they're still using these different ring sizes. And I'm sure they're smaller than 17 and bigger than 24. And I'm talking in feet. Rings. I just use that as a good example. I was watching a fight the other day, and Sugar Ray Leonard was in. He was just starting out. It was a fight he was in against Floyd Mayweather Sr. And it's a good fight to go watch. A damn good fight to go watch. Sugar Ray Leonard against Floyd Mayweather Sr. Of course, there was a junior. I don't know when Floyd Mayweather Jr. was born, but Floyd Mayweather was all we knew. It was the dad. And anyway, they were talking and they were like, "Oh yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard didn't want this size ring. It's a 17-foot ring." And I don't know who was the main event, But whatever fight, I believe it was, no, because it wasn't a Larry Holmes fight. This was really early. They both had like 15, 13 to 16 fights each. So they were both very early in their careers. And this was back when you used to fight a lot. You know, this wasn't once a year fighting for everybody. So they were in a 17-foot ring, and the announcer, Howard Cosell, was like, oh, yeah, they really did not want this 17-foot ring, but you got to take what you can get to get on a card. And if you're in the undercard, you don't get to pick and choose. So you got to make sure that whoever's promoting and managing you, really who's managing you, that they are up on what the ring size is going to be right at the beginning before anything's signed. Because if you're in the undercard, you're not going to pick what the size of the ring is going to be. So that's going to be for the main eventer. And that's the way it's going to go. And it's going to be to the size of the A side of the card is. And it might be the B side of the card, but they've negotiated, and the A side's got a lot more stuff and changed ring size for the extra stuff. There's variables that go into this, but you got to have somebody that's going to be. He says it's unbelievable. Oh, it's trash. Okay, but so you need to be on top of the ring size. You're not going to be able to pick it, but you got to have people around you that's going to say, hey, we're going to be in an 18-foot ring, 17-foot ring. We've got to prepare accordingly, the whole camp for that. Or we're going to be in a 24-foot ring. We got to prepare for that. The other guy's got a lot of space to run in, see? And if you ain't got nobody training you that's going to be able to put together whether you need to be in a bigger ring or a smaller ring, you got the wrong guy training you, teaching you, schooling you, whatever you want to call it, managing you, really. But, and then the other thing I want to talk about that you need to look out for as a young going in, especially professional boxer, there again, well, that's what the conversation is about here. How much you got, Joe?
I got 80 each.
All right. So he's got 80 each, so still got a little bit I can talk about here. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is cheating in the sport of boxing. You have to be careful. These people will, a manager, a promoter, even a trainer that says, oh yeah, I'll take you in and I'll help propel you. You can't trust none of these people unless you got your dad in the corner. You don't trust nobody. You don't trust a soul. If there's trust going on, you trust but verify everything, because there are so many things that can go wrong. They'll sign a kid that can be a superstar, but just to make a quicker buck earlier instead of 2 years down the road, and where they think they can make money 6 months down the road, build up something, make 20 or 30 extra $1,000. They'll put you as, even though you're a better fighter coming up, they'll put you in to be a whooping post for somebody else because they're thinking to fight ahead for the other guy, but they still got to groom you up for 10, 15 more fights, you see. You've really got to be careful on everything. You've got to be careful on everything that's going on around you. You got to be careful with gloves. I'm going to tell you something. You got to have somebody you can trust watching the other guy get his hands wrapped. If you're thinking that, oh, well, the hand wrapping thing was only 50, 60 years ago, all that's been stopped since the 80s, you better think again because it hasn't stopped. They'll cheat on this hand wrapping stuff all the time. Cotto fought Margarita, I think it's Margarita or Margarito, I can't remember the guy's name. Antonio Margarito is what I think, but it might be Margarita. Anyway, Miguel Cotto fought him. Cotto had a guy in there watching Miguel get his hands wrapped. They had in the wrap something that would harden as it got wet and turn into a concrete type substance. And Cotto's guy sat right in there and watched this guy do it and didn't understand what he was doing. Didn't know. They pulled a fast one on the guy. So you've got to be careful. And that guy, Miguel almost killed Antonio Margarita almost killed Miguel Cotto. And I mean, literally almost killed him in the ring. And there's other situations where it's been really bad. There was a kid come out of Tennessee. I think he came out of the Knoxville area, and that kid almost got killed in the ring. Panama Jack's what they called the guy, Panama Lewis, and that was the cheatingest guy in boxing. You have to watch everything. This guy was putting, I don't know if they still have them, but you used to have Primatene Mist. That was a brand name of an inhaler. And these inhalers will hype you up, and they're like asthma inhalers. You also use them if you got bronchitis real bad and things like that. And but they had it in pill form as well, so you could take a pill or the inhaler. And it's epinephrine or something, and it hypes you up to no end. And this guy, Panama Lewis, was putting it in the water. He's crushing those pills and putting it in the water bottles. And so you can't trust anything. When they outlawed smelling salts, I'll tell you somebody who used them all the time, and a cheating sumbitch, probably worse than Panama Lewis was, Angelo Dundee, but it don't get talked about. He'd keep a little bit of a razor, and he got this from professional wrestlers whom would take a little piece of a razor, and they'd be able to cut their foreheads just a tad, but to where it would bleed a lot. And Dundee knew how to get this in a towel or under his ring on his hand, pinky ring under his hand, and he'd pull this thing out and cut the guy's glove with it. He'd get it right out just enough under his pinky ring, like this ring right here, and it would pop out just enough, and he'd have it there, and he'd go like that and cut a guy's gloves. And you say, well, why would that do? He'd cut the guy's gloves when he did this to Sugar Ray Leonard, almost got beat a time or two. Magically, his gloves got cut, and it had to change the gloves. There's several fighters he did this with, but notably, he saved Muhammad Ali in 65 or 66. I forget the Brit's name, But this guy was a great, great boxer in his own right. And this guy was the first guy to put Ali on his butt. And Ali was stumbling and walking sideways back to his corner. Dundee bought him an extra 2 minutes because they stopped the fight so they could change the gloves. And Dundee just says, "Hey, ref, these gloves are coming apart. These gloves are coming apart. Oh, well, we got to change the gloves." So you got to have people around you that know what's going on. And another thing Dundee would use, he used smelling salts all throughout. And you can just go back and look at fights, and nobody said anything. Why did nobody say anything? It's because he's Jewish and he's mob connected. And Jewish mob connected people have been running boxing. They're still running it today, folks. So if they step in and want to cheat, or if their guy is on top, that's what happens. Their guy's going to stay there. And the other thing is you have to. Of course, you can't control this as a manager or as a young fighter. This is one thing you really can't get to, and that is you sway a couple of the judges. If you got 3 judges, you don't need to really sway. Really, you just need to sway one of them. And if you'll ever notice, and you can sway a referee, and I'll talk about that in a second. How much you got, son?
140 push-ups.
Yeah.
130 sit-ups. And squats right now.
So he's getting close, so I'll try to fit all this in. If you get a judge, these judges are conferring back and forth a lot, and in most cases they're sitting right beside one another. And you get one of them, and here's how you can know if a fight's called right and they've only got to one judge. One judge, have you ever noticed a judge will have it outlandishly scored for one guy, either in the affirmative for that guy or in the negative for that guy? Just one judge. That's where the one that's outlandishly did it, who was balled off, persuaded, or whatever, in however way, fashion or another. And they have, if he hadn't swayed by them looking at each other's cards by sitting right next to each other, he ain't swayed one of them. You see the one outlandish box score, and then the other two are kind of similar. And they got where that goes, and it may be for the winner, it may be for the loser, but 2 guys are more similar and one is outlandish. You know, there was some finagling going on there for whatever reason or another, whether the winner actually was the winner and did win, or whether there were 2 judges for the winner and one for the loser, or whatever combination thereof. That's how you can really, really spot it. And it's very obvious when 2 judges go for the one guy and then another judge is outlandishly going for the other guy and claiming he won, and the other 2 judges have it a lot closer but have it for the opponent guy. So, and these things are done in a variety of ways. A lot of times, most times, money don't even change hand, folks. They just wine and dine everybody and got them in on that inner clique and start persuading, or either they're so damn close to them and get wined and dined and hoteled and get called to all their promotion. They're in the loop in the cycle of all that promotion stuff. And they know what you got to take it for to keep their bread buttered. and to keep getting paid to go to these things and keep getting wined and dined and be able to be around all these boxers and stuff. And folks, let me tell you, I look online and the guy that's got the most pictures that wasn't a boxer, and he's got the most pictures with all these professional fighters and all these damn framed photos together, autographs and all this crap. That's somebody somewhere on the inside that you shouldn't admire at all, because this guy ain't done a damn thing for nobody except himself. That's how he's got all these autographs and all these photos and around all these boxers, you see. And so you got to be very, very careful that way. And it works the same way with a referee. They'll whine and dine. Yeah. And the promoter will be insistent, no, I want this referee. And that's why you get a lot of turmoil going on in contract negotiations when you have a champion fighting a champion or a promoter going against another promoter. You look a lot of times, and it's a referee thing from hell. And it centers in where you can see it more on the referee side because there's only one referee. With the judges, you don't. It doesn't. It's not as public. It's not as out there. But you'll damn sure hear these boxers talking about it all the time. And I'm just as sorry as I can be. If you've been watching a lot of championship boxing fights, and you think that the judges are always doing this right, or even doing it right the vast majority of the time, you're having the wool pulled over your eyes already. And you younger boxers got no business hanging around people that'll even try to tell you, well, for the most part, the sport's not corrupt. Yeah. Anybody that tells you something like that and ain't looking at everybody and ain't suspicious of everybody, you don't want them around you. You want the suspicious, paranoid people around you. That's who you want working with you, guiding your career, and has got your back while you're in the ring. We've even had in sparring some cheating go on down here, but these damn Latinos don't know how to act. And I have literally been in a former IBF World Champions gym with Joe and threatened to kick his ass in front of everybody inside his own gym. And trying to finagle and do stuff. And that guy wisely backed down. And he didn't really have a lot to fight for other than he was trying to get money. See, I had my son to fight for. So it was a big difference between he and I. And he understood that difference. And he took that mouth chewing and 15 minutes of degradation that I laid on his ass in front of all his fighters as a former world champion, which he was. And I'd do it again. And just say that's what you got to have around you. You can't have nobody timid. And that's why dads do the best. And that's why the promoters and the boxing insiders don't like a dad training or managing or being over protecting their sons. They don't like it. And a lot of y'all have been confused and misled online to think, oh, well, dads are no good. They can't manage their sons. They can't train their sons. And no, if you're a young fighter and you have your dad with you, even if your dad ain't in boxing, maybe make your dad your manager. What you got, son?
180 push-ups, 160 sit-ups, and 160.
All right, well, we'll just how many sit-ups you got?
160.
All right, we'll try to get to 200 on the sit-ups too, but when you're done with the push-ups, just do whatever you get down to. You know what I mean? If it's only sit-ups you're doing, just do sit-ups. But just do 200 of each. Don't go no further than that. To get you rested up, we'll have a bigger day Thursday and Friday. So anyway, you know, guys, I talked to you about a lot of these things, and you have got to be careful. And I have run into former professional and high-level amateur boxers that, let me give you a prime example. I'm a younger guy. It's 1979. We got two champions. They were split because of what Ali did. And Ali was going to come back. Ali never wanted to fight for the WBC belt. He wanted that WBA belt because that WBA belt was the one that came from the NBA, the National Boxing Association, that was the direct lined belt back. And I was fortunate that I got to train around Big John Tate, several other guys, several other John Tate's trainers, his head trainer, his manager, Ace Miller. And I got to work around these guys a little bit in 79 and into 80. And Ace Miller, that was his, John Tate was his bread and butter and his pudding in the bowl. And Ace Miller even messed up with John Tate. Put John Tate in with a slugger that he thought couldn't go 15 rounds. And there were a lot of us out there that were going, no, hold on a dang minute. And the guy's name was Mike Weaver, and we knew Mike Weaver was a lot better. And Ace Miller, he couldn't see it, of course, and he was looking to get $1 quicker and thought, I'm going to sign for John Tate to fight Mike Weaver, and but I still going to consider it a tune-up, even though it's more of a risk than somebody else we could fight. And the tune-up was going to be from a Muhammad Ali comeback, see? And within the last 48 or 49 seconds of the 15th round, John Tate is pummeling this guy for 14 3/4 of a round and gets knocked spark out by Mike Weaver with the last 48 or 49 seconds. And that's what can happen. And then what does Ace Miller do? And now, me saying this, I love Ace Miller. I love the guy. He just recently passed away. But I got nothing but positive. But he messed up with John Tate. So he went and put him in with another slugger. Coming off that knockout, put John Tate right in with another slugger, and John Tate needed 4 or 5 more fights, and he needed to slowly work up in those 4 or 5 more fights with people that couldn't hit, with a guy that can hit a little harder, a guy that can hit a little harder and a little harder, and he puts him right back in there with a slugger, and he gets knocked out again, and that was it. John Tate was finished. And John Tate could have come back and won the belt again. John Tate possibly, he would have gave Larry Holmes a great run for Holmes's money. And Holmes was great now. And John Tate was great, maybe even as great as Larry Holmes. But through bad management, it got messed up. And what was a wonderful dream turned into a nightmare very quickly. So it can happen. So you got to be careful. And when you got people around you that really, really, really care, they're going to take care of those things. And so what ended up happening? Muhammad Ali came back, did the multi-million-dollar fight with Larry Holmes because John Tate got knocked out. And they didn't figure to go to Mike Weaver because he was a brand new champion. And they wanted one of the sitting, Ali wanted one of the sitting champions. So he went back for that WBC thing. But Ali was the money deal of that. And even though Ali was way past washed up and couldn't have beat any of these guys, but it ruined going after the money, a little bit of money too quickly, sacrifice what could have set you up for a lifetime of wealth, see? Because Larry Holmes had no necessity to continue fighting after he fought Ali back in 1980 and had that fight with him instead of John Tate having it. And Larry Holmes went on and bought half of his hometown, Easton, Pennsylvania, and has more real estate property than Carter's has pills. So that could have been John Tate and Ace Miller. But instead, John Tate gets all messed up in the head. And I'm going to tell you somebody who's been mismanaged in the recent history that you guys will know, and that's Anthony Joshua. It's been terribly, terribly mismanaged, coddled. And I'm telling you guys, if Jake Paul's a boy, right, Joe? Is it Jake Paul? If Jake Paul, if they have signed for him to fight Anthony Joshua, you all are seeing that the YouTuber's going to get his tail kicked, and I want the YouTuber's ass kicked. And the reasons why I'd like to see it is because I don't think somebody should be able. I'm not. It ain't that I don't think nobody should be able to. It's that I don't respect that somebody with a lot of money goes out and gets the best of this, the best of that, and the best of this other thing around them instead of fighting up through the process. And but Jake Paul's going to beat up Anthony Joshua. And y'all can't see it, but I see it clear as a bell. I could be wrong, but the psychology of it I see perfectly. And I would bet with myself before I'd bet with you guys that think I'm wrong. Because the psychology of it is telling me Anthony Joshua is very, very damaged to goods. And he is. And he's been damaged for a while. I think actually he's been damaged since the fight with Klitschko when he won the championship and he Klitschko floored him. I don't think the proper psychology has been instituted into Anthony. That should have been stressed and stressed and stressed with Anthony Joshua, and it wasn't. What you got? You good? All right, well, we're done here, folks. Got a little day, got 200 of everything. How many minutes we got here? 44 minutes. You had 20 of the bag work. So he's had this about an hour and 20-minute total workout or whatever, hour and 30 minutes in total with what he's done today. Real small workout, not much to it. Keeps the body going, keeps the building process going, and that's what we do. And we show you this stuff because we want to motivate you and tell you, number one, if you young, he's 17, If you young and you're in the heavyweight ranks right now in boxing, and you're in the USA, you ain't gonna stand a chance when we get back home. You ain't gonna stand a chance. So I tell you, you need to be working like he does. And if he can do it, you all can do it. You need to be working. And that's why I do it. I want to see the best possible scenarios I can see, not just for my son, but with everybody. So I'll finish this like I finish all these, and all our imperfection up here and all our non-perfectness. Christ is King, Lord, and Savior. We hope he is up in where you are. And if he's not, we hope he soon will be. We unapologetically say that. And you hear Rocky. I'm going to put this down here. I see you hear whining in the background is Rocky, and we're going to take him over to the park now. Joe's going to do a walk down in the park with Rocky. And we send you all love and hope everybody has a great rest of their week.